Hi Capricorn, welcome to your monthly tarot and astrology scope for March 2020. This is a slightly different setup, you might notice, and also just housekeeping. I'm not very good at housekeeping, I'm quite scattered with these, but this is for Sun, Moon and Rising, if I haven't said that already. And yes, I'm in a different location and it's a little bit dimmer than the other horoscopes if you've been looking at your Sun, Moon, Rising and other signs. Or cross-watching, we know that everybody likes a little look from now and then. But this is a big month for you in many ways because your ruler Saturn is finally moving, and there is a collective shift in the world as we know it when Saturn moves signs. It is big. You guys love the prestige, and you love the growth, and you love the expansion, and you love winning. You know, you love being at the top of your game. You love being the best at what you do. You love making yourself better. You're big into self-improvement. And that is much in part to your ruler Saturn. And when Saturn is in your sign, we can see the culture is a lot to do with prestige. You know, we saw with Instagram, people wanting to look their best and make a business out of aesthetics and having the most money and driving the best cars and that bougie flex lifestyle that it is. And when it shifts into Aquarius, it's going to be so much more about the individual and the collective, as what that is the Aquarius complexness. Mercury's still in retrograde. I'm finding it hard to get my words completely right, but we'll get there eventually whenever it settles in. So when it shifts into Aquarius for you, particularly for Capricorn rising, this is all about money and worth and finances and value. And rarely, apart from Taurus, does anybody know the value quite like a Capricorn. You guys always have big lessons to learn in terms of your own value. And with Saturn as your ruler being in your sign, quite at home, it's still pushed you over the last couple of years to really examine the way that you are with yourself, the way that you grow, the way that you look at yourself. It's probably transformed your appearance. You may have lost a lot of weight. You may have gained a lot of weight. It's really been about reflection, but it's taught you something. And it's what it's taught you will become very, very clear this month. Three of Swords. It's taught you a lot about pain. It's taught you a lot about the way that you bleed whenever you're upset about something. And I think for most of you, you're finally ready to let some pain in your heart give way to a sense of freedom that comes with Saturn being in Aquarius. Mars being in your sign is pushing you. It's pushing your body. It's pushing your mind. It's pushing your heart. And while it may be making you very attractive to a lot of prospective partners or employees or anybody that wants something done, you are the person to go to. And then when Mars moves into Aquarius, you're going to have to really watch your finances. But for now, what I'm trying to say, Capricorn, is that you're ready to take a leap of faith. Because Saturn moving into Aquarius is going to release you. And you're going to feel it quite quickly. Now, Saturn will return to your sign, but by then you're well into the consideration of how you are valuing yourself. And it brings you some clarity, Ace of Swords. You're beginning a new venture in March. The Fool is all about new beginnings, whether it is moving, whether it's taking a new job, whether it's starting a new relationship, whether it's starting a new hobby, whether it is going traveling, whatever it is, it's going to be very, very fresh. The Ace of Swords is like having clarity on a matter. And I think that this new venture, this new journey, this new beginning is going to be very healing for you. Very healing for you. And when Mercury goes direct and there is a full moon in Virgo in one of the most expansive parts of the sky for you, connecting with Pisces, which is all about how you communicate, even if they are opposed, you're going to have your heart and your mind meet in the middle. And it's going to bring you some real truth in your life. And it's in those those parts of the sky that aren't necessarily something that shows up in the physical. It's really showing up in the mental. It's really showing up in your mind, in the way that you communicate, in the way that you think about things. The Seven of Wands warns you that you do not have to defend any position that you choose. You actually just have to sit in it and be comfortable with it yourself. If you get super defensive, you might be getting an alarm bell that you're in the wrong spot. That's okay, you can regroup and you can have this full moment as many times as you want in March. With the Four of Swords and the Seven of Wands, as I said, Mars is in your sign right up until the last day of March. And you need to rest more. No matter how fresh and new the energy feels and how much excitement it brings you and how much change it's bringing you, you need to remember to rest or you will get cranky. Two aces. Very Capricorn. Six of Swords. Big changes. Big moves, big transitions, all feels very like moving out of winter into spring. Very appropriate. For some of you, it involves literally going overseas. And as much as we live in uncertain times and your heart may be breaking, you are moving towards something that is just quite simply meant to be. Of course, with the Lover's card, it always brings choices. And you must, Queen of Pentacles, choose yourself every single time. You must put yourself and your needs first. Because you are a Capricorn and you need to grow. Queen of Pentacles and the Devil. You must choose yourself. Over and over and over and over. No matter what it is, how fresh it is, who it involves. There's nobody here but you. And as if we needed more confirmation on that, there is the Devil to show you who you are, how powerful you are, how much you have going for you, but also how much your dark side, your shadow side, your vices need to be acknowledged in March as well. Saturn is ready to release you from a karmic debt, a karmic cycle, something that's brought a lot of stress, something that's brought a lot of pain, a lot of confusion, a lot of heartbreak. For some of you, romantic. For some of you, business. For some of you, family. For some of you... well, we all know how dark the Devil can get. We all know how sad the Three of Swords can feel. And we all know how restricted Saturn can make us, but the Eight of Swords portrays that restriction so accurately. Queen of Swords and the Moon. Ooh. Your need to protect yourself from other people's projections is very strong in March. You need to make sure that people are not projecting onto you a fantasy that does not exist or projecting their expectations and hopes that they cannot possibly live themselves onto you because you are successful. It would appear that there is possibly an air sign in your life that hides things from you. Not necessarily to be malicious, but they're having doubts or concerns that may come out over the full moon in Virgo on the 9th. Particularly if it involves finances, the home, or family matters. Somebody may be keeping you in the dark on a family matter. And it may distress you somewhat to know that you are out of the loop. And that may be the thing that mid-month makes you feel very defensive. You should probably meditate on it, and maybe the reason that people have kept you out of the loop on something, Capricorn, is quite simply because they feel that you're beginning a new chapter, a new period in your life, something very new, something very exciting, and they don't want to burden you with the stresses. And they also know that you, in this case, in this new venture, have to put yourself first. You have to say, I'm going to make this relationship work. I'm going to make this job work. I'm going to make this homework. I'm going to make this family work. I'm going to make all of this happen, and I need to put myself first in order to do so. You're correct. It's not selfish. It's not unwise. It is what you need to do to keep that progression going. And Saturn, Capricorn, should have, in many cases, taught you where to put yourself first. There are health concerns with you guys, for everyone in particular, because the Virgo full moon is the full moon of the hypochondriac. Virgo is the 6th house. The 6th house is all about health. That's the collective. That's not for you. Your 6th house is Gemini. And with the North and South node changing up, you really need to watch how much you're exerting your energy, and if something is reoccurring within your body or within your mind, now is the time to really put yourself and address it, because you may have some kind of bad energy link or somebody from the past that has resentment towards you, resentment that you have towards somebody else that is needing to go. And if you find yourself in any way, shape, or form in March, and this is just a general, I always say stuff like this when I see the devil, so just don't freak, don't get worried, nothing like that. But when I see the devil, if you find yourself in any situation whatsoever where you just don't feel right about someone, or you just don't feel right about the vibe, or you just feel like you need to go, you go. Okay? No questions asked. You have full reign to trust your intuition. The moon here, also with the Queen of Swords, is saying even if you feel like somebody's going to call you a bad word, or they're going to cuss at you or say something nasty to you, you be the Queen of Swords. You just say what you think. You just say that you want to get out. You go. You need that energy. Venus is in Taurus. Let's talk about that. Venus and Uranus connect in Taurus. And for a lot of you, that could foretell a surprise pregnancy. That could foretell a new relationship. That could tell a surprise engagement. That could foretell a creative project, Ace of Wands, going extremely, extremely well. That's pretty nice energy. 2 aces. For those of you that are single, you could very well find a relationship with another earth sign. Is it easy to navigate people in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, even though it goes direct on the 9th and moves back into Pisces around the 16th? Where you find that misunderstandings and miscommunications finally get some clarity. Is it easy to navigate in the shadow? Not so much, which is why I'm saying if you see a red flag, if you see 2 red flags, if you see 3 red flags, go. Because the devil energy can really disrupt your growth, and it can really disrupt your ability for finding real love if that's what you're looking for. Especially if there's something that you really, 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 really want. All it takes is one narcissistic, sociopathic, psychotic person to come in, smooth talk you, flatter you, and derail all of this. And you're headed towards a beautiful moment. And if Saturn has not taught you what you needed to know about putting yourself first and trusting your hunches, then you're going to find yourself repeating the same mistake again. But I don't think you will. I think you've got it in terms of getting people's measure. You have a hunch about someone, Capricorn. It's probably true. And the thing about looking for romance or looking for success or whatever it is that you are looking for, you are headed towards something that makes you feel so loved and connected and full of love, because it is not always romantic, it exists within ourselves, but you're headed towards this beautiful feeling. With Venus in Taurus, you can guarantee that your love life is going to feel a lot better than it has done after the recent Saturn-Pluto conjunctions, which took out relationships, which took out dynamics, which took out key players. It took out so much, and it has done so much damage, but not without warrant. There is something that you had to learn, had to see, had to understand, had to express, and if you continue to gloss over it, you will feel it in your shoulders, you will feel it in your body. It's weird, actually, whenever I went to do this Capricorn reading, I felt the worst tension, and I still have it in my shoulders. Four of Swords can mean you need a massage, but that's trivial stuff. The Lovers is here. Things are looking good. Gonna go straight into the extended. It is linked below. Can't wait to do it. Can't wait to see you there. Love you, Capricorn.